Hello, everyone, and welcome to the High Ground Podcast. Sorry about all of the technical difficulties here. OBS crashed on me twice, and it's been a pain in the butt. But we got an awesome show. We're going to be going to Galaxy's Edge and having a lot of fun. We're going to do that right here on the High Ground. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for persevering and hanging out with me through all these troubles. Brand new setup, and yeah, thanks for getting weird for a while. So, thank you guys for persevering and hanging out. Like I said, yeah, I want to start by, we're going to be talking about Galaxy's Edge, which I actually myself have not been to yet, but it's okay, and don't worry about spoilers for me. But I've been wanting to talk about it, and I know how many people love it, and I get to see all these people visit it all the time. I'm super jealous. So yeah, we'll go around and talk about it. I'll have everyone introduce themselves and let me know. Who are you? Where can we find you and your content? And then my icebreaker for the day is, what character do you wish you were? And then what character are you actually? For this one, I'm gonna go to Sawyer first.
Hello, it's me again. I'm Sawyer, or Sawyerism, on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. And I have not posted a lot recently, but a little birdie told me KOTOR was getting a remaster, so I'll be back soon. We got a lot to talk about. But okay, who do I wish I was? Valkorion. Y'all know that's not true. There's no way. Like, as much as I want to be, like, I'm too nice. I don't know who I actually am. I spend too much time in my fantasy of wishing I was like this evil emperor. But who am I? I've been described as an Ahsoka before, so yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay,
That's good.
You seem like sad that you have to settle for being Ahsoka.
Yeah, because I want to be Valkorion.
She wants to be the tippy top Sith Emperor,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then next up, we actually have Kier, and I know it says Amanda. I'll be fixing that shortly. But yeah, how about you? Where can we find you and your content?
Hi, I'm here.
And who are you?
Yes, awesome. Excited to be here. I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram, though I'm way more active on TikTok. So you can find me definitely there, posting daily all the time. Also excited about the KOTOR remake, definitely posting about that too. So yeah, if you can't tell from my KOTOR 2 shirt here I've got on.
You can't. I am so sorry. I have to leave. I cannot be on this podcast anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of my favorite Star Wars shirt. So anyway,
can you move the microphone so I don't have to see him?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I've got Mara and Atten. There we go.
Much better. No, don't show me him. Nope. No, Nihilus.
Yeah. What character do I wish I were? I mean, I've got some serious, Darth Talon, Empress evil fantasies. I wish I was Ahsoka, if I'm being perfectly honest. She's kind of amazing. So, Sawyer, you've got that locked down. What character am I? Man, I'm C-3PO, D-O, no thank you, here are the facts, awkward, that's probably more of who I am.
I get that. That's actually when D-O's no touch, don't touch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's more similar. Awesome. I love it. And last but not least, we have Chris. How about you?
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the co-host of Dark Side Divas. It's a podcast that you can basically find everywhere on every podcast platform. We're very active on TikTok, and by we, I mean my co-host. I don't use TikTok that much. I'm Squire X2 on Twitter and Instagram. I usually use Twitter for a character I want to be. Palpatine. I love him so much. Unlike my co-host, apparently. And but in real life, I am Gonky.
I love it. I mean, who doesn't love Gonki? Like,
I want Book of Gonki right now.
um, yeah. So I mean, obviously, you guys know where to find me. Um, who do I want to be? I mean, I feel like I wish I had thought about this more myself. I mean, I would like to be, believe it or not, Mace Windu, not just because he's black. I really love the character. Um, you know what though? I love Plo Koon, and I kind of feel like I am Plo Koon. I'm sorry. I know
Wow.
it's a cop out, but I do feel like I have a lot of Plo Koonness. Um, but maybe I can say I want to be Clink, the little droid with the arms and stuff that sticks out. He's like a little toddler, and you just want to pick him up. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't have people want to pick me up in real life energy, unfortunately. So I will I'll settle for being Plo Koon.
That's a hell of a settle, though.
Yeah.
But, all right, so this is gonna be a Disney heavy conversation. So as such, we got to talk a little Disney before we truly jump into this. So I want to ask, first and foremost about Disneyland. What's your oldest memory of it, right? Like, what's your memory, your history with the park? But then I was gonna ask favorite movie and favorite song because we judge people based off of that. Uh, I'm gonna go to Takir first.
Oh man. Well, I am a huge Disney file. My mom worked for the company. I worked for the company in the parks. So I've been going since I was less than 1 years old. So I've got lots of memories at the park. I love, and this is Disneyland. I've been to Disney World a few times too, but Disneyland is my bread and butter. So I'm a big fan. I know a lot about the parks. I used to be that obnoxious friend who told you every little thing about it, but now I love to just go and just like be there and vibe, and it's the best. So, I mean, my earliest Disney memory, I was obsessed with Chip and Dale as a kid. So I can remember waiting in line for Chip and Dale and seeing them for the first time and getting little kisses on the nose by Chip and Dale. So that was a big moment for me. Man, favorite Disney movie and song though. I mean, it changes like all the time, so I don't really know. It's like my mood. Favorite Disney movie. I love Emperor's New Groove. I can quote almost the entire thing. It's underrated. It's like, oh, it's so good. So I'm gonna go with that. And song, I mean, I'm lately kind of obsessed with the music from Frozen 2. So if that makes me basic, fine, but it's good music.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being basic, all right? Well, sometimes there are things wrong, but not here. Not here.
Thank you.
I love it. And how about you, Chris? Also, I feel like we all probably have a big affinity for Emperor's New Groove. I know.
Oh, yeah?
Chris is probably going to go into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, that is literally my favorite Disney movie ever. That movie is one of the funniest movies of all time, period. It doesn't matter if it's a cartoon or not. It is so funny. Favorite song is Poor Unfortunate Souls. I love that song so much. That is my favorite. Earliest Disney movie, my family has taken me to Disneyland since as long as I can remember. So it's kind of weird how many memories I have, and I'm not really sure what year it happened, if that makes sense. I remember my mom and my Uncle Tim taking me when I was 3. I'm a tall person, and I was always a taller child. And so at 3 years old, my mom tried really hard to get me to go on Space Mountain and Thunder Mountain and Matterhorn. It didn't work out too well for them, but it turned out okay. And yeah, Disneyland for me is just a place of peace for me. I feel like I'm not alone because I'm surrounded by Disney nerds for the most part, and it's just so cool. Everything I love in pop culture is there, and especially now that Star Wars is there and Marvel Land is there, it's just my favorite place in the whole world. I've been to Disney World a few times. I love Disney World too, but it's not Disneyland. Disneyland is my childhood, and it's all the awesome stuff condensed in a very small area. Whereas I feel like with Walt Disney World, you have to go around a lot. So, but yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. I do feel like we're gonna have some choice words coming up for Disney World versus Disneyland. But how about you, Sawyer?
Well, I guess I'm the odd, but I appreciate the diversity. I live in Florida. I have for the past 4 years, and I grew up going to Disney World because that's my dad's happy place. I've been to Disneyland a couple times. Disney World is my home. I've been going there since before I was 1. I think I was 3 months old the first time my parents took me.
Wow.
Yeah, so long time. And actually, I think I've been there once, at least once the past 3 weeks. I go a lot. But no, actually, I just spent my 21st birthday there last week. So that was a first.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty awesome to have my first legal drink in Galaxy's Edge. But yeah, no, I've been going there forever and ever. My earliest memory is probably 2 come to mind. One of them is my dad putting napkins in my shoes to ride Space Mountain. Which I was a very small child, so that, unlike Chris, but I have a Space Mountain tattoo because of that memory, because that was, my first, special connection to Disney World. And my dad and I still go. He'll visit me from Colorado and we'll do Disney trips together. So that, and then I have a memory of going on a Disney cruise when I was like 6, and they like chose me to do this like special captain's pin trading night, and they gave me all these free pins, and it was like a magical moment, and I was like loving it. So, and I still have most of those pins, so I think those would be my earliest Disney memories. Favorite movie, can I do Pixar? Does that count? I mean,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, that works.
My favorite movie is Up. I always like go back and forth between Up and Coco. I think Coco is the best Pixar film objectively, but Up is my favorite. And my favorite song is probably Friends on the Other Side, because I love Dr. Facilier.
Good choice.
Very good choice.
Deep cut. This wasn't what I was expecting, but I love it.
Oh, you were expecting me to say Frozen? No.
I mean, considering you dressed like Elsa every day for most of your childhood, true story. She has pictures.
I was 13.
I have seen them. And early teens. Yeah. So
nope, not Frozen.
I love it. Also, I want to do some shout outs from the chat. We had DePaul in here, sharing some love. I always appreciate you. For some reason, OBS is not cooperating with me, so we can't really see the chat. Let me see if it pops up. Oh, it is there. It is working. Awesome. Huzzah! That was like a Hail Mary in it. On my preview window, it was not working, not having it at all. So I want to say thank you for that. And we are getting some awesome responses. We have Camilla in chat saying Princess and the Frog slaps. Haven't seen a lot of people talking about how they're redoing Splash Mountain with Princess and the Frog. Which,
I'm so excited about that.
Same.
I mean, like, considering Song of the South was not the it's not the jam for Princess Tiana to inherit that ride and get it updated. That's like a slap in the face. It's extra cool. I just remember being little, like, what movie is this coming from? And then my parents are like, don't
talk about it.
don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, it turns out racism doesn't age well.
How about that?
But Camilla's favorite movie is Little Mermaid, and her favorite song is "Go the Distance," which is awesome. We got Brooke in the chat. Emperor's New Groove, her favorite movie, favorite song, Be Prepared. St. Pat, favorite movie, Aladdin. Song, Never Had a Friend Like Me. So I used to go down. I'm a swing dancer, and we used to go down to Dapper Day, and we would, we would handle our business. Let's got Star Wars lawyer movie Lion King. Not surprising. Dude has an excellent Mufasa song. Friend Like Me, the Broadway version.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I used to be an usher for the Broadway in New York. I'd watch that every night. It is so good. It's so good. Yeah. I'm serious. It's like a crazy cool Broadway number.
I didn't know. That's awesome. I have Scheming for Sriracha, my favorite Disney film. I go back and forth between Aladdin and Lilo and Stitch. Underrated. Show Yourself is a fantastic song. Let's see here. The Poison for Cusco. Yeah, there's a lot of love. Now myself, I grew up I moved up and down the West Coast a lot, but from like ages 17 to I don't know, early 20s, I lived in Huntington Beach, and so I was stone's throw away from Disneyland. And back then we could get this SoCal Select season passes, and then I'd wait for my friends from Northern California to come down, and I would take their pass and turn it into a season pass. Long story short, I went to Disneyland roughly every Sunday for like years. Like if there was nothing going on, we didn't know what to do, let's go to Disneyland. And that was a lot of me growing up, so that was just a lot of fun. Favorite movie has to be, for me, it is a toss-up between Emperor's New Groove and Aladdin. Love both of those films so much. And as far as favorite song, I gotta say, Make a Man Out of You slaps. And Stand Out.
Can you sing it?
From
Can you
Goofy
sing
movie.
it for us right now? Are you a singer?
Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. I may or may not cover that song on acoustic guitar. So,
oh wow.
It'll happen. Although, all in all, I think Aladdin has the best overall soundtrack. But that's just me. But awesome. All right. So now I got your guys's Disney love. Now let's kind of like slide it into Star Wars. So what's your earliest Star Wars memory? And this one I am going to go to Chris first.
My earliest Star Wars memory was my grandfather making me watch Return of the Jedi for the first time. It was he had, back in the day with VHS, he would copy all the VHS tapes he would rent, but they would always have that weird ribbon where the scenes would get cut off on purpose if you tried to copy it. Mm-hmm. So there were 5-minute blocks for Return of the Jedi I hadn't seen ever until in the 90s when they did the special editions. I finally got to see those, like the full version of it. I was like, I never knew that happened in Return of the Jedi. So that Return of the Jedi was the only Star Wars movie I'd seen for a while until I saw Empire, and then I saw A New Hope, which was still Star Wars back then, shortly after that. So I kind of went the opposite direction.
Awesome. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I always love talking. Actually, coming up soon on the High Ground podcast, not to advertise for future episodes, I'm going to bring in a bunch of people who like found Star Wars this year and dove into it, because it changes the perspective completely depending on when you jumped into it.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Sawyer?
Yeah, well, two come to mind, but that's only because they occurred in the same year, I'm now realizing. I don't know which came first, because I remember begging my mother to let me watch Revenge of the Sith. I was 5, because that's when it came out. And I remember her having to borrow the DVD from a friend of hers who had bought it when it was released on DVD, and her, like, fast forwarding through certain scenes that she didn't want me to watch. So I have that memory. And that same year, oh, darn it, I don't think I asked her to bring it down when she was here, but she recently found my invitation for my 5th birthday party, which was Star Wars themed, and that would be my other, like, first memory, because it was gonna be a pool party, and then I broke my arm like a week before, and we had to cancel the pool party, and so my mom like got this cookbook, and we had Yoda soda and Obi-Wan kebabs, and like so that is my other first memory.
I don't even know what that means. What's Yoda soda?
I'm
That
like,
sounds.
what is that?
Mountain Dew?
No idea.
It sounds awful.
Sprite concoction. I don't know. And Wookiee cookies. We had Wookiee cookies too.
Okay,
Nice.
Wookiee cookies I can get behind, but mostly because that's a that's a Star Wars The Holiday Special reference. Awesome. How about you, Kira?
My first Star Wars memories actually has to do with Disneyland. I can remember Star Tours, going on Star Tours a lot. It was a must. But specifically, I remember coming out of Star Tours when it would end, and you'd go into the hallway. You'd drop off the glasses, and then there'd be the old posters with like Endor, Dagobah, like the really like old looking ones. And I remember looking at those and being like, I want to go there. It was only that one same thing again and again and again. And I was like, well, why do they have all these here if we can't go there? I have fond memories of those posters.
So do I. I do remember those vividly, and it's just staring at the Tauntaun on the Empire or the Hoth one.
Hoth, yeah.
Brooke says the best soundtrack. Don't disrespect Phil Collins like that. I mean, that's a valid. Tarzan does. I mean, Tarzan goes way harder than it had any right, for sure. And also to everyone in the chat, okay, maybe I'll make a TikTok of make a man out of you, but I'm not busting out the guitar here. So y'all can stop that. For me, I mean, most of you guys already know. My mom was a closet nerd, and I had an old VHS tape of The Empire Strikes Back that I watched until my eyes would bleed. I mean, I was that kid that would just watch the same thing over and over again. So if I wasn't watching The Empire Strikes Back, I was watching The Labyrinth. And it was just being terrified by it because, I don't know, those Muppets were freaky, but solid. It's a great movie as well.
That's actually one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm also a huge David Bowie fan, and also it turned me gay. So there we are.
I mean, the pants, man, the pants.
Yeah. I don't remember being freaked out by the Muppets. I was engaged.
It left an impression on you, we'll say. But jumping to Galaxy's Edge, I kind of want to break it down into like different parts of like the atmosphere, and then separate it will be like the restaurants, bars, and drinks, and then the locations, characters, and lore. So first, just brief overall the atmosphere, how like. I don't know what draws you in. What's the best part? What kind of hits you in the heart when you walk in, Sawyer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think because Hannah and I, Discount Bo-Katan, if you guys, I don't know if you two know her, but so we've been best friends for 15 years, and so when Galaxy's Edge was introduced, we had heard that no one was going in California, and I'm not sure if that was because it wasn't exactly what people were expecting, or just I've heard that the summer season is actually kind of slow for Disneyland. So we were like, okay, let's book a trip, and we went. And so I went to the Disneyland version first, and then a few months later, when I went back to school, I went to it hadn't opened yet. I think it opened in August in Disney World, and I have distinct memories of walking into both the first time. It was more magical for me in Disney World, I think, because I think the transition, because Disneyland is so compact, you can see it from all these areas of the park. You cannot see it when you're walking into Hollywood Studios. It is concealed. And even though you can see the tallest spires from before the tunnel, it transitions from a New York subway station to Batu, and it's just beautiful. It's like, whoa, what the heck just happened? And that entrance music is just, it entrances you, and just, I think that is like what first comes to mind when I'm thinking about what I love about it so much, because you really do feel transported into another world. And of course, John Williams did the soundtrack for Batu, and it's just magical. It's magical. Like, Disney is magical, but that's, just the way that it captures your attention, and you have no choice but to be forced into this mentality that you actually are in Star Wars now. And you go in the bathroom and there's like alien radio station happening. Like, I keep telling people that one of these days I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna stand in the bathroom for like an hour so I can hear the whole soundtrack, because they have like a DJ who says things sometimes, and like, so there's that, and there's, the cast members who get really into it, and they tell you their backstory, and learning about Oga, and like this big scary lady that you don't want to piss off. Like, just the little things that keep you immersed. Like, that's what first comes to mind.
Awesome. Now, originally it was going to be modeled after Tatooine. Would you have preferred that? Is this better or worse? What do you think?
don't I don't think it needed to be. I think that would have been like the basic assumption, like, oh yeah, we're Tatooine. I think that creating an entirely different planet, and not only doing that, but bringing that planet into other areas of canon to reinforce the fact that you are actually a part of the story, was the smartest choice, because it was a new experience for everybody. And yeah, it doesn't need, I feel like if it was Tatooine, I don't know, there's just something about being a part of a new story that I think you wouldn't have that same. I think if it was Tatooine, it would feel like going to Harry Potter World, where it's not Hogwarts, it's not Tatooine. That's not how Batu feels, because it was built specifically to give you this impression of, you're in Star Wars now. If you have an expectation of what that looks like, it's not going to feel the same. So no, I would not have preferred that at all.
Awesome. All right, I appreciate it. And how about you, Kier? Same question. Both of them. Both.
I mean, she's right on the money regarding Tatooine. Like, absolutely. You come in with expectations. With Batu, you don't. And so it's this magical, this what if, like, what am I going to find? I know when I haven't been to the Disney World one, and the point about you being able to see the spires from like the 5, is problematic, because Disneyland is more compact. But I can remember I was there opening week, and you had to get these like wristbands, this whole thing, and you were like waiting in line, and it like snaked through Fantasyland, and we're all standing there in our Star Wars clothes, and we're just like, ooh, and like just ready to go in, and you just walk in, and I was weeping. And you had all the people standing there, and like bright suns, and come in, and you did the music, and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I? I was just in by the teacups, and so it felt the suddenness of it worked for that first impression, because it was almost like a shock value. I can remember rounding the corner and seeing the Millennium Falcon and just like sobbing like an adult, like, oh my gosh, it's there, And so for me, it was just like a lot to take in. I think the magic of it, Disney does such a good job with details and all of that. But like Sawyer was saying, the cast members to get really involved in it. I had a guy trying to sell me a moisture evaporator, and I wanted to buy it. But like, and he was, I was like, I can't believe I'm having a conversation with some dude about a moisture evaporator. Like, it just blows my mind, the backstory these cast members have. And the Disney Play app. I don't know if you guys have used it, but it's a separate app where you, like the DJ in the bathroom, there's like a storyline on that. And you go around listening to, like hacking in radio signals, and you're taking pictures, and you're doing missions. And if you do certain missions, certain cast members will come up to you with other missions. Like, it's insane how you could spend the whole day in Galaxy's Edge and still not do all of it. So it's wild. It's kind of the future, I think, of entertainment,
You
where
can spend
you
a
see
month
all.
there and not get everything. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Awesome. I love it. How about you, Chris?
I mean, I usually go in via the Frontierland entrance to Star Wars Land, and I would think that if they did a Tatooine thing, it would have made it less special because you're going from like a desert rocky area to another desert rocky area. Doesn't really work that well. I personally love seeing the spires all the way in the backside where you're coming to Disneyland because it helps build anticipation. And there's nothing else in any theme park I've ever seen that has like the specific rock formations and anything like that. So I personally love that. My favorite thing is just walking in, hearing the music, and then also hearing like TIE fighters fly over you, and the speeder bikes going by, and you're like, "What's going on?" And even my friends who don't like Star Wars, they're instantly hooked into the whole experience just because of those little things that Disney is so good at. And I love sitting right outside of Ronto's Roasters, right up on the perch that overlooks the Millennium Falcon, and just sitting there eating my gyro wrap, whatever it is. And there are always like new people that walk over nearby and they see the Falcon for the first time, or on the other side they walk in, see the Falcon for the first time, and just watching people have this like emotional reaction. Most of the time people cry, the kids are just so excited. And I love Harry Potter Land, but like when you go to the Hogwarts building, it is smaller. It's not the real Hogwarts, and the other buildings as well. The Millennium Falcon is at scale. It is the Millennium Falcon. It is this huge, massive thing that you can walk underneath. Well, you technically can't, but you could walk underneath it, and it's just right there. It's just unbelievable. It's unreal, and I love it.
Awesome. No, now I'm extra excited. No, a lot of people were up in arms because it was directly Kathleen Kennedy that made that executive decision to not have it be Tatooine. Now, as someone that hasn't been there, I think it would be stupid if it was Tatooine because Tatooine sucks. Like the whole point of Star Wars is Tatooine sucks.
it's a good point.
So I didn't mean to come that hard on it because I just asked the chat if they would have preferred it, but I am getting that Dark Side Divas, your counterpart says nah, Tatooine is too much baggage. It's the sandy armpit of the galaxy.
and she knows about sandy armpits, so.
So it's just like I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Everyone's supposed to want to get away. You have to farm for moisture. Like imagine you're like thirsty, and then you have to like go farm to get like a little cup of water. And I can't see like having a bunch of force users and stuff around, or lightsaber shops and stuff like that would work. It made sense to create a place. Now I don't know if you guys have read any of the books that have Batu in it.
Yeah.
But that's partially why I feel like I've been there, because I've read all of them, and I can't wait to meet Vi Marathi because she's a real one.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. You kind of mentioned Chris mentioned. He didn't mention Savi. No, he didn't mention Savi's. The food place. I want to talk about the food and the drinks.
Ronto's
Roasters, yeah. So I'll go to Chris first, but what do we need to know about like the restaurants, the food, the bars, and the drinks?
Yeah. So at Disneyland, it's complicated because right now, well, I guess there is one other place now, but for a while, Oga's Cantina was the only place where you could drink, and I think for that reason, way too many people want to go there because they want to have a beer, but it's super hard to get in, and I think that's kind of an unfortunate decision that Disneyland continues to stick to, but I understand.
Ariel's Grotto, you can get a little something.
Yeah,
too.
Pixar Pier, you can get.
Well, you can go to DCA. You can definitely go to DCA and drink and do your adult fun time there. I actually go to a bar at the Grand Californian where I do my drinking when I want to do that. But I think that in general the food is great. I love Ronto's Roasters. It's a hot dog wrap. That's all it is, but it's so good. and they have a breakfast one now that's really good. There's a cafeteria place as well that has some okay food, but I think Batu would be served really well if they had like a larger dining experience, more of a restaurant style, which I hear is coming, or it's been rumored for a while. But Oga's is the place to be. Oga's is the coolest area ever in the whole world. Just being able to go into a cantina. You have DJ Rex, not Captain Rex, doing his DJ thing. The hyperdrive fails every so often. You know, the hyperdrive, the power is all about too. It fails, and just to reactivate it, they can start hitting it hard over and over again. And I love that. And like, I always love like taking people there for the first time when the lights go out and all that kind of stuff. Like my friends always get alarmed, like, what is going on? Oh my God. And then they start hitting the hyperdrive, and I'm like, well, there's a 50% chance we're going to blow, just FYI. And I just like sip my beer and see what they say, and they always panic. So I love that experience. But yeah, definitely if you go to Batu, you have to try to get to the cantina. That's one of my favorite experiences for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly know Oga from being terrifying from the books, but no, I can't wait to try it. I have Liba-Wan Kenobi in the chat. Awesome Obi-Wan cosplayers. He says, love me a Ronto rap. Aiden talks Star Wars topics, says Endorian Tip Yip is really good.
Yep is really good.
Yeah, it is. It's the best thing there, I think.
It's just fried chicken.
But it's good.
That's
good.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You've just confirmed to me that it's the best thing there. Beth Catan loves her cold brew calf.
Yeah.
Yeah, the calf at Docking Bay, the calf. St. Pat says, my only complaint about Batu, it's not food allergy friendly. Can't eat anything there.
That is true.
I did not know that.
So when I was little, we tested me for allergies, and I came up allergic to literally everything, almost everything except for the common one. So I'm not allergic to shellfish or peanuts, but everything else. And I was allergic to so many things that my parents were like, screw it. And then we just steady the course. Let's see. Darkside Divas. Which books feature Batu? There is a Black Spire book. It is a sequel to the Phasma book, so I highly recommend reading Phasma first, which is Mad Max in space and delightful. But
that's a great description.
It's there. It's also featured in Thrawn Alliances.
That's one I've read. That one's amazing.
Yeah.
That's maybe the best one to read.
Yeah, I need a Vader Thrawn buddy cop movie right now.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then also, I believe it pops up in Force Collector as well.
There's a Black Spire like outpost guide too, and then there's the Vi Marati one with Cardinal. Which one is that?
Yeah, no, that is Black Spire. That is Black Spire.
Okay, sorry,
yeah.
I'm getting it mixed up.
But awesome. All right, Sawyer, how about you? Food, drink. You just turned 21. I got to hear your thoughts, as well as I had a new thing introduced by Liba-Wan Kenobi. He says Team Blue Milk or Team Green Milk.
I'll let Chris answer that first before I go on my spiel.
I mean, green milk, blue milk, and Disneyland, I mix them. I always buy both and mix them. But it kills me that Hollywood Studios, you can get it with booze, because I've always wanted to try that.
What?
I'm like, we don't have that option. Yeah, we don't have that option.
Yeah,
I feel ripped off.
We can do that. We also have an alcoholic beverage in Docking Bay 7. We are much freer. It's still difficult to get into Oga's, but not nearly as much as it is in Disneyland. Especially not right now that they're, smaller capacity, but the restaurants are full capacity now. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so I'm a big fan of the Galaxy's Edge food. I think quick service food is really hit or miss. And for a long time, Hollywood Studios was known to have the worst food. But now in Toy Story Land, like that quick service restaurant is phenomenal. And Docking Bay 7, I really like it. I do get the same thing every time. The Kadio ribs, they're really good. But yeah, no, I really like that food, and I love Ronto wraps. It is pretty expensive compared
Mhm.
to the other food in the park, um, but I think it's worth it. But Olga's, I had been there a couple times before, obviously not as an adult, a real adult, um, and so I got to go last Monday, or not last Monday, 2 Saturdays ago. Yeah, that's right. Monday was my sister's birthday. 2 Saturdays ago, it was my 21st birthday. I went with my family. I had a sip before of the fuzzy tauntaun, just a little bit, just to see, because that's the one that like numbs
Oh
your
yeah,
lips.
that was from a friend of the channel, Victoria, correct?
No, actually. um, but she would have. But no, no. Yeah, so my mom, my dad, and I, we all ordered something different so we could try as much as possible. I can't remember what mine was called. But what I really love about both the drinks and the food in Galaxy's Edge is they really do a good job of making it alien. There's a lot of experimentation with how they present the food, like the different ingredients that they use. The first drink I ordered was um, it was like a passion fruit margarita
Mhm.
with fruit puree, and it was just this like orange blob, and it looked not like fruit. It just looked like, what is this? I don't know. And it had salt on the rim that was like dyed my hands black because it was like charcoal salt or something. I don't know. And the fuzzy tauntaun comes with the numbing stuff, and when you order it, the server tells you, "Oh, this drink is not for humans. Be careful." And then the second thing that I ordered was essentially a Jello shot,
Mhm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it comes in a petri dish, and it had popping boba in it, like underneath the jello, and pop rocks. So it came to me and it was making the noise because it had pop rocks on it. And the server came over and she was like, so those are frog eggs donated to you by our frog Kevin. And I was like, oh, okay. And then in the tank over in the cantina is this frog named Kevin, apparently. And that was one of the weirdest things I've ever consumed, but it was really good. But that's what I love about both the food and I mean, like, there's a lot of weird like flavor combinations that happen with the different foods, and just, yeah, like I said, the presentation of everything. And For the last part of the question, I'm a green milk kind of person. The blue milk is too sweet for me. But I haven't tried it with rum yet. I will probably the next time I go.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. I also had a real quick question in the chat. Chosen Pumpkin said, I know they have characters who play roles, but are there any animated characters there? Hondo Onaka is
Hondo, yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite person in all of Batu. I think that was the first time I went to Batu. I had no idea he was there because I went out of my way not to spoil anything. And when I heard I was going into the uh, what is it, Onaka Transports building, I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? And then there was no line, so I didn't get to hear any of the dialogue that you hear when you're in line going through the engine room. And I walk right in, and I see Hondo right there, and I started bawling. None of my friends knew who he was because they never seen anything other than the movies. And I loved, like, I'm bawling at Hondo while Hondo is being accused of selling illegal arms and engines, and he's like, no, 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 I have no idea what you're talking about. He breaks the communication, says, kill him. And I was like, oh, that's Hondo. My friends looked at me very strange.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm about to do a what if, but I want to write this and make it like more in depth. But what if it was Hondo that they ran into in Tatooine, and like you had old Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he runs into Hondo there, and they go with Hondo instead of Han Solo. I think that would just be a wild ride, and I have some
I,
stuff
I,
planned. So stay tuned.
I gotta believe Obi-Wan would just walk out. Like, Kenobi. Oh no, I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Mm-mm. Nope.
Oh hell no! Uh, he's like, my friend, my friend. I was telling you about him. I would, I'd love to see it. How about you, Kira?
I mean, Chris and Sawyer have covered a lot of it. One thing I will say, they used to have this Ronto jerky that they don't anymore. I really liked that, but that's gone. I know they're actively like working on the menus. So
I didn't know that's gone.
yeah,
You just crushed my spirit right now.
Do they have
Oh,
the
God, it was
charcuterie
like-
board in California?
sorry, what?
Do they have the charcuterie board in California?
In Oga's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys.
That's
Yeah,
new. Okay.
Yeah, and that stuff is really good, but really weird because I don't know ever what I'm putting in my mouth. It's just like nothing on the charcuterie board's identifiable. So whatever.
You get like one piece of cauliflower, like 2 pieces of I don't know. It's weird.
That's so cool. God, now I'm just like, I just keep getting extra pumped to go. I'm hitting y'all up when I go. That's gonna be me and Element 7 are gonna plan a trip, and so,
Nice.
I'm going tomorrow.
Ooh, lucky.
Yeah, this week is Gay Days weekend, so I'm heading to Anaheim tomorrow. Gonna be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Awesome.
So very excited.
Man, I miss going on all the different days. You know, I mean, I remember there's there's a picture of me with a mohawk, and it was like a punk day at Disneyland, and I literally like shaved off everything and then relaxed my hair and went up into a mohawk, and I had a tattoo of a dolphin on my neck just to make me look tough.
Can we get a photo of this?
Whew, that would be telling.
My favorite day is Goth Day because you have all these goths showing up, but they're still Disneyland fans. So they show up, they're all dark and bleak and whatever, but they're still smiling and giggling, having fun like kids. It's so funny.
Yeah, you're not getting on Haunted Mansion that day, but
No.
yeah, we always called it Bat Day. But okay, so we've talked about some of the characters and stuff like that, but how about locations, characters, the lore in the park, the rides? I don't know how do you guys feel? And this time I'm going to Kier first. That's why I start with this different person each time, so that you don't get everything taken every time.
No, all good, all good. I love that we all love the same things. As far as locations and lore in the park, 2 things I'll talk about. I'm a gamer, and don't judge me here, but the 2 games I'm going to talk about is Sims and then on the Oculus Quest. So in Sims, there's this whole thing. There's like a whole Galaxy's Edge thing where you can go and be part of the rebellion or the First Order or whatever. But then there's all these camps. It's like encampment where Rise of the Resistance is. So it's fun for me, even though I don't play Sims that often, like just to be like, oh my gosh, the camp's right there, and right over there is this. And then if you go through those trees right there, and then on the Oculus Quest, you can do, I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but it's a whole Galaxy's Edge thing. And I love it because you can explore Batu. You go, you fight, you like in the woods, like, those like rocks that you see in the distance, you're like on those. There's a whole other cantina in Galaxy's Edge. If you look where Oga is and you're up to the left, you're like, that's where that is. I've been in there, You get to meet all these people, like the Droid Depot. You like get to meet everything, like the guy behind it, and go on quests and stuff. So it's Disney and Lucasfilm does a great job of just, like Story was talking about earlier, like building out the lore and putting Batu into other areas, so you feel, oh my gosh, I know this. This is part of the story. So
Awesome, I love it. How about you, Sawyer?
I think, hold on, like I think this is an appropriate time to bring up Rise of the Resistance, because that is like the ultimate lore experience, right? Because then all of a sudden you're part of the story. Yes, Batu is structured along this idea of, you are experiencing a canon day in Star Wars. But nothing quite seals that deal like Rise of the Resistance. Are we allowed to talk about it, or are people like in the chat not want spoilers for that? Or
well, I have let's see here. Talk around it for a moment. I believe I have something for spoilers. just so that
Okay.
people can know.
But I think, just the idea of you being able to be put like that is the part of Betu that puts you in the story the most. And they, spared no expense to make sure that that was. Oh, does that mean I can do
There
it
we go.
now? Okay.
Yes. So, spoiler
Hello.
banner.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
pretty subtle but if you look, I put a spoiler banner up. If you don't want to hear about the
I
Rise of
love
the
it.
Resistance, you can mute yourself or whatever. But as soon as this is gone, we're off the topic.
Okay. So I'll go nuts. But just the before Batu, you had the people who worked at the Haunted Mansion who were like, ooh, and you had the people at the Hollywood Tower of Terror who were like, um, and besides that, you didn't get a lot of like acting or like feeling like you were a part of the story. Now you have the resistance, giving you a mission, the first order capturing you. You like the win every time that the main like when the first order officer walks on board your ship and tells
Mm-hmm.
everybody to get the heck out, like that is just it's so cool. And just I love talking about this because it like just makes me feel some type of way. You guys may know I have some friends who are maybe not so much of a fan of the schools. Not name dropping anybody, but you might know them.
I don't
But
think you
they
should be
have
friends with them anymore.
um these people have told me that it does like they throw that all aside because of how incredible that ride is, and that's still an amazing experience for them. And I think that's really a testament to how incredible that ride is and how unique it is to any other theme park experience you can have anywhere in the world. So that for me, I think is like the ultimate, like best, most incredible thing about like the lore of the park. Because yeah, there's all those nitpicky things that I'm going to be looking for, that like a diehard Star Wars fan is going to be looking for, but definitely in Florida we don't have as many cast members super into it. That may just be because of right now, because everybody kind of switched positions just to try to fill spots during COVID. But also, I've definitely had more immersive interactions with cast members in Disneyland than I have in Disney
Mm-hmm.
World. So to have that as a constant, granted, it's really hard to get on that ride, and I'm not a huge fan of how that's constructed, and I hope that does change. But if you have the chance, like that is, you're in Star Wars. Like that is every Star Wars fan's dream come true right there.
Agreed. Yeah. And it's
Awesome.
long. It's not just like a quick
Oh yeah,
ride.
it's
Yeah, it's a
17
20-minute
minutes.
ride. Yeah.
Mhm.
Through. It's amazing. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how about you, Chris? And if you want to start with Rise of the Resistance,
Yeah,
then I can
I'll
clear the banner.
this isn't, I mean, this is technically a spoiler, but the interaction with Kylo Ren on that ride is the most scared I've ever been in my life, period. I still love it, but that was intense. And that's the only spoiler thing I'll say about Rise of the Resistance. I love both the Falcon ride and Rise of the Resistance. I definitely dislike the virtual queue thing, but that's my favorite. Really, my favorite thing about too is just walking around. I stand Vi. I love her so much. I every time she comes around, I'm like, oh my god, trouble's about to start, because in like a minute or two, stormtroopers are gonna roll up on me and give me some crap or whatever. And though they haven't been doing that because of COVID in the past since it's open, but before COVID, that was always a situation where I'm like waiting in line for Ogas or something, and Vi comes up to me and she's like, are you cool? You a member of the Resistance? I'm like, no, don't talk to me. They're gonna come talk to me next if you talk to me. And then a minute later, like stormtroopers will be like, have you seen this person? And I'm like, don't, please stop harassing me. And it's even worse when Kylo Ren's there too. Like, whoever the person gets to play Kylo Ren must have so much fun with being that character. It's just so cool. Savi's workshop by far is my favoriteest experience at a theme park of all time. Every time, one of the side reasons why I love bringing new people to it is they always want to build a lightsaber. I don't have enough money or enough space anymore to keep building lightsabers, so I'll be like, let me go with you, because they'll let you, if you have at least one person building a lightsaber, they'll let you bring a guest with them. So I'll go in with them and watch the whole experience, and it always makes me cry every time I do it. Yoda showing up at the end is really cool, so I would definitely recommend it. The Droid Depot is also extremely cool. I can't get over how cool that is. Watching my droid come alive is my favorite thing ever. So I love it. I love the whole thing.
Awesome. I love. I got some people in the chat saying how. Let's see here. Where'd it go? I mean, Brooke absolutely sobbed during Savi's.
Me too.
Camilla said, "I cry during the pre-show of Rise every time. I will join the cosplay."
So I don't know if they're still doing this, but at Donk Ondar's Den of Antiquities, whatever it was called, where you go to buy the holocrons and the wayfinders, apparently some of the wayfinders have a kyber crystal in there, and I saw somebody buy a wayfinder with the black kyber crystal in it, which is supposedly really, really rare. So I totally followed them and decided at the last minute I was going to buy a lightsaber so I can watch this dude use that black crystal in the lightsaber just to see how it would light up and stuff. And it was like this deep, dark, sinister purple. It was so cool looking and so insane. I was so jealous.
Lucky you, yeah. I'm super jealous.
I think they do still do that. I think it's like 1 in every 90 or something is a black one. But yeah. Also, I was reading the chat and someone said, "Has anyone done Chewy mode? Have you guys done Chewy mode?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When you push those certain buttons, it's so cool. It's so cool.
I tried. Victoria and I tried when we last saw each other, and we couldn't do it. We thought we did it. We heard Chewy, and then we were like, Hondo right after him. We were like, ugh, dang it.
Well, Kier, if you wouldn't mind explaining to anyone in the chat that doesn't know what Chewy mode is.
I mean, I'm not going to give spoilers, but when you go on the Millennium Falcon ride, if you get people and you all these buttons on the side and the front, and if you push a certain sequence, kind of like cheat codes back in the old console days, you get Chewy mode, and it's worth it. Let me tell you. That's all I'll say.
It is worth it. I am terrible at the Millennium Falcon ride. I do not like to be the pilot. I did it once so I can pull the hyperspace thing. That was it. I was good enough. I'm good being engineer in the back because it's so much pressure, like flying it around.
Engineer is low-key the best because you just push buttons, you watch. The rest of it, you're like into it and way too to enjoy it, unless you're really good at it, which also I am not. So I hear you.
Camilla says, POV, you're 6'2", surrounded by 4-foot kids in Savis, and you're the only one sobbing.
That is, you're describing me.
Yes. It's relatable.
I love it. And then Vanessa was there talking about how much you meant her to see Rey. I saw a video of like a bunch of grown men hassling Rey because they didn't like the sequels, and you're like, really?
That's a complaint my friends always have about Batu is that there's not enough immersion, there's not enough costume characters. People are jerks everywhere, and I don't know about Disney World, but at Disneyland there are always people harassing the costume characters. That's why they have like security people right next to them, and it's such a tragedy because I agree, I would love more costume characters, but yeah, people do harass Rey, and they don't harass Chewie, which but they do harass Rey. Vi got harassed. I saw her get harassed a couple times, and that kind of stuff sucks. And every time I see that, I always say something. And I'm glad that Disney security is very discreet, but they are there. They will swoop in, take them out very quickly, and you won't even know what just happened. Like, people are suddenly gone. That's awesome.
Because I'm terrified I'm going to get kicked out for like what are you saying?
No.
I don't know. It's actually I was talking to Miss Aggie Marilu, and we were trying to find a word because of all the stuff that just happened recently with the Ahsoka Luke thing, and we're like, okay, so if if a beard is a woman that like a gay man will use to pretend he's not gay, what do you call a misogynist that uses Ahsoka to pretend he's not a misogynist? Like there needs to be. We need to coin there needs to be a term for this, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of that just got just got exposed. So, I will be accepting submissions. Anyone in the chat, if you have an idea for a term, but no, I can't wait, and I think about all these people's experience. Kier, your first Star Wars experience was at Disneyland. And think about all these kids that were going to grow up and their first thing is going to be seeing Rey and Kylo Ren and all this stuff. And then they're going to go home and watch the movies. And like, that's going to be so exciting. Like, such a cool way to experience it. To be like, I've been in Star Wars already.
You hope you take it for granted, right? You hope it's not just like, oh yeah, whatever.
I envy that so much because and I wish more people could see that of like it's not just nostalgia for us adults, but we have to see what this could possibly do for the future, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, on that note, that was actually the next question. I wasn't planning that, but what impact do you think the park has on the visitors and the children going forward? And then also, since we are starting to go along, I want to kind of package in some of the other questions of what is there that you never got to see, and what would you like to see added in the future. And I'll go to Chris first.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know the impact. I'm old. I'm almost 40, so I no longer have that child experience of like watching Star Wars for the first time and like spending a full day like pretending to be in the Star Wars universe. Maybe I still do that, but to kids in my life, Rey Skywalker is their Luke Skywalker. Kylo Ren is their Darth Vader. And how they perceive Batu, I can't imagine how cool it must be for them. I never got to have anything that cool when I was a kid. The closest I got was Star Tours, and the consequence of that, which by the way I have a poster right there of Star Tours, is I would make my family take me on Star Tours 4 or 5 times each visit, even though Star Tours had the longest line at that point. So I can't even imagine what the impact's going to be. It's going to be way bigger than I could possibly imagine. I don't know. I can't imagine what they could add to Batu at this point to make it better, but I kind of wouldn't mind seeing drones dressed as droids flying around Batu. That would be kind of a cool atmospheric thing. Mm-hmm. I know that's kind of difficult, and there's safety concerns with something like that. That would be cool. I don't necessarily need another ride or something there. I am openly wondering about Star Tours. For Disneyland in particular, it's kind of weird that Star Tours is in Tomorrowland, and then on the other side you have a Star Wars land. So I think that I don't want Star Tours to go away, but I kind of feel like that needs to be addressed somehow. And I've had some friends suggest that there was space or a way to move Star Tours. I can't imagine them actually doing that. So I don't know, but I would like for that to be resolved somehow, some way. But yeah, I just want more Star Tours or Star Wars in general. So if they want to add more to it, I'm assuming they're going to, because I think it's been a very successful venture thus far. Just more.
Yeah, that would be. I do think about that. Is Space Mountain still Hyperspace Mountain?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
It is sometimes. Every now and then, it comes back around, I think.
Yeah, I think for May the 4th they do it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time when I went in, what was it, 2019 when it opened? When I went there, it was Hyperspace Mountain, and I was like, "What is this? I want Space Mountain. I don't want Star Wars Space Mountain."
Yeah,
that is incorrect.
Yeah. To make up for the fact that Rise didn't open with the land open, they kept Space Mountain as Hyperspace Mountain. I loved it the first time I did it, but I was craving original Space Mountain. And it's such a great experience. The only negative I have to say about Walt Disney World is their Space Mountain. It's just not for
It's
me.
better. What are you talking about? It's like it's the original. We have
That's
the
right.
original.
Yeah, we call it Matterhorn here.
And it's nicer. The building looks nicer.
Oh.
It's just teeny little compact.
Wait. What do you mean by that? It's similar to Matterhorn?
When I went on Space Mountain in Walt Disney World, so I used to be scared of roller coasters and I would cry going on them and all that kind of stuff.
Tim, is your opinion valid? No offense.
No, never. It's never valid. I'm just a nerd. But no, I thought Space Mountain was a totally the Space Mountain Walt Disney World just wasn't as scary as it was at the Disneyland one. At the time, they had a lot of lights booming from the bottom up. I know they don't do that anymore, but they had a lot of lights that allow you to see the entire track. There were no stars anywhere when I was going on the ride, so it was kind of weird, and that kind of painted my impression of Space Mountain at Walt Disney World. So that said, the Thunder Mountain at Walt Disney World is so cool. I love it so much, and it's just really cool how it has a bigger experience. The train station's on the inside, not the outside. It's super cool.
Nice. I I fractured my ankle doing a front flip over a ledge on the walkway out of Big Thunder Railroad.
Oh,
So I used that was good times.
good job.
How about you, Kira? What do you think of Kids for the Future? What did you see you never thought you'd see, and what would you like to see?
I mean, I just never really quite thought I'd see something like Batu, you know, but it's exciting to see that. It's exciting to see what could be, you know. I think a restaurant is a great point. Like a sit-down restaurant would be really nice. I think maybe not like a fast ride, but I think there are other like entertainment options, whether that's a show, whether that's some kind of walkthrough thing. I think the more like audience involvement that can happen, the better. So I think an interesting turning point will be the Star Wars Hotel in Disney World because of that interactive experience and because of how you can shape what your journey and your destination will be. I'd love to see that in the parks, whether that's with magic bands or whatever, like where stormtroopers can come up and identify you as, oh yes, you're with the Resistance, come with us, and you get a special experience because you've done XYZ quests or whatever, you know? I think that they're laying the ground for that, and that could be really real. There's just so much there, so I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, Disney World's just getting all of the cool stuff. Like they're getting Tron, they're getting the Guardians ride.
I know.
It's just insane. Yeah.
Well, we have more space.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, and how about you, Sawyer?
By the way, I'm sure most people who know, and I was joking about your opinion not mattering. I'm not
Oh, I don't care.
gatekeeper.
If you listen to my podcast, my co-host abuses me like the whole time, so it's totally cool. I'm
It's
used
the
to
best.
Well, I just needed to. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I think what Kara touched upon, I was going to bring up the hotel as well because that is opening soon. And that is supposed to be like a cruise experience, but it also is, they're very much like, we don't know a lot, but they're pushing this, you are a character, you're gonna be a Jedi, you're gonna be this, like you're gonna have an option to wear your costume in the hotel or whatever. And so I think there absolutely will be some kind of identification process like you bring up. And I think I personally don't see a way for there to be, like, I can't really think of another ride that would belong in Batu. I entertainment wise, it's kind of tough. You know, there was this rumor for a while that, oh, they're gonna replace all the characters with the Mandalorian characters. They can't do that. And they're not going to do that. And I think I would be upset if they did that because you would have to, you know, it's one of those things in the community that like there's all these rumors come out and like half the fandom believes them, but Disney would not have spent the time and money they did on making Batu the way it is to just scratch it all out and bring in Grogu. But yeah, I mean, I think I would like to see I think we're all wishing for those special character interactions that we had before COVID to come back. When I was in Disneyland, Hannah and I had like a 20-minute excursion with Vi Marati. You know, she toured the entire place with us. She brought Hannah directly to Chewbacca. She put in a good word for me, to Ray, and we played this game where we hid from the stormtroopers. That is what that part of the park was built for, and
Mhm.
I think that coming back will
Mhm.
just add so much more magic back into that place. It's still magical as is, but that is something I think I'm I'm personally missing that we can't have right now. Um and yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about a sit down restaurant, but I'm down for that. Um yeah. And in terms
Awesome.
of the impact, I think I actually always tell people that it's more fun to go to Batu as an adult. And I only say that because as a child, you're not going to be noticing all the small details that come with Batu. And I think originally, when Batu first opened, there were a lot of people who were like, "What is this? Like, this is not for the normal Star Wars fan." I think that consensus has changed, but for me personally, you know, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it as much as I do if I didn't have that like extra passion for Star Wars. Noticing the music, noticing, you know, going into the. I was there the other day, and I went to the bazaar, and I went to the pet adoption center or whatever.
Mhm.
And the guy was like,
Creepy.
"Oh, you know, what are you like? What do you do here? Whatever." And I was like, "Oh, I am a reptomammal biologist," and blah 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 blah. Like, you know, I wouldn't be able to do that if I was a kiddo. But at the same time, I can't speak to the experience of a child. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a young kid getting into Star Wars and seeing your hero working on her droid in the little area where Ray works. So, you know, I like what you said, Chris, about Ray and Kylo being the Vader and Luke of this generation. They absolutely are. And so, yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think it goes into my theory that 10 years from now, the sequels are going to be loved a
Mhm.
lot more
Mm-hmm.
out loud than they are right now.
My one of the first times I went to Batu, my friend went to go buy a porg at the marketplace, and the guy was like, "You're not going to eat the porg, right?" And the guy was like, "Wait, what? It's a stuffed animal." You're like, "No, it's not. It's a porg." And my friend didn't realize like you're supposed to be in character right now. You're supposed to treat this as a real thing. So he bought the porg. We walked over to the X-wing where Ray and Chewie were working on it, and Ray sees the porg. She looks at Chewie and says, "No more. We're not supposed to cook them here. And you keep that thing away from the X-wing because they get into the, you know, she rattles off all the different places that a porg could sneak in." And I was like so overblown with joy. My friend was like, "I just bought a stuffed animal. Why are people attacking me over the damn porg?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I really do need to go. But sorry, were
Me
you gonna say
too.
something, Kier?
Well, what? Oh.
Awesome. Well, I love it. Thank you guys. The last question is, are you guys planning to go to Celebration?
Yep.
Um,
I'll be
Yeah.
there. I have my pass.
I think if I told you no, you'd like show up at my house tomorrow and be like, "You're going."
yeah. So all right. That means it's gonna be a big old meetup. We're gonna hang.
Yeah,
To,
I don't think I'm actually gonna go to the actual events. I know there's a podcaster meetup or whatever, but I love going to Disneyland around celebration time when they have it at the Anaheim Convention Center. So
Mhm.
it's my favorite.
I mean, the best convention I've ever been to was Celebration 2015. Um,
Mm.
that was just it was just a magical time. I don't know. It was transcendent. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys all again for coming out here and hanging out with me and nerding out about Disneyland and Star Wars. And uh, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Awesome conversation, and yeah, I appreciate all of you. And I say this all the time, but you know, you guys will be invited back on. It's just tough. Uh, Kier, I've been trying to get you on for a while too because I don't know, I just love your. If you're not
Oh,
following her already,
thanks.
please do. Her content is excellent. Um,
Thanks.
and definitely Dark Side Divas. But I want to go around and ask, what upcoming Star Wars project has you the most excited?
Can
And
I?
then, and then,
Sorry, I'm really excited.
I, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, what has you the most excited? And you know, let us know if you have any closing thoughts and where we can find you and your awesome content. I will go ahead and start with Chris.
Oh, geez, so much pressure. I want to book a Boba Fett trailer right now. That needs to happen ASAP, please, please, please. It's supposed to come out in December and it's September. So, but I'm excited for every Star Wars project. Star Wars Visions, which is coming up, looks like beyond spectacular. I cannot wait to see it at the Ahsoka show. I love Ahsoka so much.
One
So
week from today.
I know. So my
Mm,
answer is all of it. And in terms of where you can find me, I am a co-host of Dark Side Divas. Uh, we're going through the entire Star Wars saga in chronological order. We're on Clone Wars right now. We're going to be in Clone Wars for like 2-3 years, I think, at this point. But we're having a lot of fun, and you can follow. We do a lot of content on TikTok at Dark Side Divas, and we're on Twitter at Dark Side Divas as well. So just check us out there.
Awesome. Love it. And Kier?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for everything Visions next week. I am really, really stoked about the Acolyte. I don't think we know a lot yet. It's down the road, but whoo, oh my gosh, I have theories. I think about this at night when I can't sleep. Like, I am so stoked for that.
What's your
So,
theory? What's your theory?
no, that is a whole different podcast.
Okay.
I've got
Okay.
a lot.
Dang, you got me
But I think
excited.
there's some really cool stuff like coming down the pipeline. I think the visions, I don't mean actual visions, but the vision that is, that Star Wars is moving towards and what we're going towards is just so exciting.
Have you been keeping up with High Republic stuff?
No, I am in it right now. So I am reading through. I haven't read everything yet, no, but I'm inhaling it at the moment. Why?
Oh, you said you had theories, and since
Oh,
Acolyte is the tail end of the High Republic,
yeah.
you know, I just thought I would ask. And then real quick before I go to Sawyer, I just want to say that I didn't think of. I know I haven't been, but I think there could be some sort of ride, a la like the Peter Pan ride and stuff like that. That's a journey into the Force, and using
Ooh,
that type of medium, you know, maybe you travel through the world between worlds, and you
I
get
would die.
to, and that is the medium with which you get to experience the characters and stuff that you remember from the past and the prequels and stuff like that. And you
I
Sold.
like I like
go,
that. That's very clever. It'd be a good way to get people in while still staying, the rest of the park. What is it? Post
yeah.
Last Jedi is where it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
What were we gonna say, Chris?
No, I was saying I'm sold. Let's build that right now. I want that.
I was just trying to think of like what could be done, but yeah, I think that would be the ticket. Um, and let's see here. I have Ven Skywalker saying he's excited for Boba, Ahsoka, and Kenobi. Um, Camilla saying Leslie Headland is the goat. Can't wait for the Acolyte. Uh, Lord Dagovere, aka Let's Go. Hella excited for Visions. Edge of Balance, which is out. I haven't read it yet. It's on my Kindle. And everything High Republic. Um, Lots of excitement. Even Suki is excited. Uh, how about you, Sawyer?
Come on. Come on. What am I actually forgot what I was most excited for, and then I remembered. Because my answer for the past, like 6 months has been the Acolyte. Um, No, I need a PC. I don't have one, or a PS5. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm gonna eat it all up. I don't care about these YouTube videos that are like this person never played KOTOR a minute. No, I am so excited. That's my livelihood. That's the reason I have this platform. I screamed because nobody told me. Like, I found out about it like 6 hours after the announcement. Like, no one, I was expecting someone to like tag me or send it to me or something. No, I was just scrolling through my phone and I saw it and I was like, what? Because if you guys don't know, I've been kind of MIA recently, and when I'm online, I'm like, I've dived, headfirst into Marvel for the first time in my life. And so that is where most of my like nerddom has been for the past couple of months. That was what I needed. I needed a slap in the face from Star Wars to be like, girl, get back in your lane. This is where you belong. Oh my god, I just over the moon. I'm so excited for KOTOR.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I am ready for that myself. I personally, Visions, I'm super excited. Like I said, I took the day off of work. I'm gonna make a bunch of content that day and just try to crank it out. That's why I'm trying to like get all my setup, and I'm trying to like put together my Adobe Premiere productions and like get a bunch of stuff so I can just like crank it out like an organ grinder.
Nice.
And so I'm super excited for that. But also, I think the Acolyte is what we need going forward. I think we ended up in this weird situation where there's people who didn't love the prequels who was making Star Wars stuff, so that stuff didn't get a lot of love, and that's why some people now look at the sequels and are like, there wasn't any prequel representation, stuff like that. But I love how Leslie Headland, who herself is a huge expanded universe fan, huge tabletop RPG fan, huge original trilogy fan, she wasn't the biggest prequels fan. So in her writer's room, she got a bunch of prequels fans, and she got Clone Wars and Rebels fans, and she got someone who is new to Star Wars to make sure all this stuff makes sense to a regular person. And so I think with that DNA, like the possibilities are endless. Plus, I've just been loving the High Republic. It's been peak Star Wars in my opinion. This is coming from a huge Legends fan as well. Suki is also excited. But that's how I feel. Once again, thank you guys for coming out and for joining me on this journey conversation. I look forward to chilling with all of you guys at Galaxy's Edge once I get to go. But thank you so much, and may the Force be with you always.
Thank you.